Well, hello there, everybody. Good to see you, or actually see you in the chat. Now, I apologize for this to my member community for you all just kind of getting this for for the first time. Let me turn to my gain. Hold on. What happened was YouTube is having some issues with notifying channels who have membership communities. So I have been sending you all messages in the community, in the membership community, for a couple weeks. And I'm like, why isn't anybody commenting on these things when you all normally have like 10, 20, 30 comments and a bunch of likes? And I'm like, what's going on here? Did I piss everybody off? What did I do? Did everyone convert to be vodka fans? And so I texted somebody. I was like, hey, are you getting my notifications from YouTube? And sure enough, I started to text people. I started getting in a chat with YouTube and like, oh yeah, we're having some issues. Well, would have been nice to know that. So it's one of the frustrations of having a channel. But unfortunately, it is what it is. But I've also, this past week, I've been sick. Not COVID. I had 2 negative tests, but I had like this crazy sore throat and cough, and the symptoms were not at all close to COVID. It wasn't a dry cough at all or anything like that. But wasn't feeling well, so I haven't been tasting. I've been doing stuff, so I've been kind of been at arm's length too. And plus, 2 weeks ago I was traveling and everything, so. I feel like I've neglected my lovely YouTube community, so it's really great to be doing this live stream. This is meant to be a member live stream, and so if you're not a member, this is one of the benefits of being a member is you get whiskey in the news. Whiskey in the news, and basically what I will do is I will get into the Google machine, and I will pull up stories that are populating in Google News, and we'll kind of comment on them. And it'll range from a list to like a new product or some kind of new something. And so, yeah, that's what I will do. But also, want to make sure I take the opportunity to answer any questions that you all might have. So if you have a question, drop it in the chat, and I will be sure to answer that. Now, I do want to say, a big thank you to Danny for joining, Peter for coming in. We got Josh Bass coming in the house, or is it Bass? Josh, how do you pronounce your last name? Is it Josh Bass or Josh Bass? Interesting. We got member Joe Roadtruck in the house, member Gary Penna in the house, Kurt Brown, Nicholas West, Mark, Kevin Klingeman. Oh, what a cool last name, Klingeman. Reminds me of Klinger and MASH. Now, completely different last names, but Klingeman, cool last name. We got Terry Lentz. Haven't seen Terry in a while. Hope you're well, Terry. Tyler H. in the house. Rare Bird, always laughing. Kevin Kelly. What is up, Kevin Kelly? Ain't seen you in a while either. Kyle Connolly. Woo, we got the whole crew here. And, of course, Riley Carlin in the house. So, Josh says you pronounce his last name like the fish. So, Bass and not Bass. Rare Bird wants to know if I can get him Pappy. Well, as a matter of fact, I can get you Pappy. Go to pappyraffle.org. Right now, we're raising money for the Ronald McDonald House. Just click on that and get yourself a raffle ticket. And you know what? You may win a whole bunch of Pappy, but more than anything, you're going to help a great cause. So I can help you today. David, get your dream of Pappy. But you have to go to pappyraffle.org and get yourself a raffle ticket. Mike Osmian, join in the house. Good day to you too, sir. Matt Bekowski. I hope I said that right. Matt Bekowski. Cheers to you too, my friend. Yeah, if you all have any questions before I jump into the news, that's whiskey in the news. Howdy to you as well, JS. It's good to see you all on this lovely Wednesday, August 25th. And Kevin Amick is dropping a little toast in there. So cheers to you as well. I'm not sipping right now. Today's a load management day. You know, with the sore throat, I don't like to sip anything with a sore throat. JS, we got Hank Williams Jr. in the house. Hopefully Hank Williams Jr. can play us a little tune a little later. That'd be pretty cool. I don't want to butcher this name. I really don't want to butcher your name, but I'm going to say, I can say Malik, your last name. Good afternoon to you as well. Good afternoon. Terry says, last time I saw you, you had some long hair going on there. You know what, Terry? I miss my long hair. I miss it so much. Like I worked so hard on growing my hair out, and it was long and wavy, and I was so excited about it. And then I booked Peyton Manning, and I'm about to leave the house, and my mother-in-law comes over, and she's there to like watch the kids while we're out of town. And she stopped me at the door, and she said, Fred, you need to get a haircut. You can't interview Peyton Manning with long hair. I was like, what? She's like, you need to get a haircut. And so because of my mother-in-law, I got a haircut. Yeah. So, Danny asked the questions, are you going to do bourbons of the year so far? Yes, I will. Yes, I will. And thank you for letting me know your name, how to say it. Shaw. I'll just say Shaw. Thank you, Shaw, for tuning in. But yes, I will, Danny. I've got a long list of things to do. I've got like best starter bottled and bond bourbons. I've got bourbons of the year so far and a few other things. But to be honest with you, like it's been really hard to sit down and record with with these events kind of coming back for me. And then, I had like the last week for recording and then boom, got sick. So it's the lovely, lovely, lovely things that we have to deal with here. So Cedric says, thank you for your service. First to fire Army. Thank you, Cedric, for that. Army Hua, if you are a fellow veteran, go ahead and put it in the chat. Love to recognize you here. I'm an Army vet, Iraq vet, and I know it's not the easiest time for any of us right now as we see what's happening in Afghanistan. So if you need some support, there's a lot of support areas for you. But you can definitely, if you serve, please put it in the chat. I'd love to recognize you. Mage Maroon says a liquor store called me saying they have Joseph Magnus cigar blend in at $170. I'm thinking about grabbing it. Well, I think that depends on what $170 means to you. Like right now, I'm a little tight on the wallet, and that $170, it'd be hard to let go for cigar blend. Now, I like cigar blend. The ones that I've had have been very nice, but it's gonna be tough to spend that kind of money on it. But if that's easy, if that's not too much to spend for you, then yeah, go for it. I mean, it'll be worth it if that money, if you have saved up for it and that's, you can afford it, then go for it. Absolutely. Brandon says, Army wife here. Hello, cheers with some Knob Creek 9-year-old. That's awesome. Absolutely. Mage says, basically where I'm at right now, 170 is about $70 more than I'm comfortable spending on any bottle. I think then you've answered your own question, there. And I don't want to talk anybody out of buying something they want to buy, but I feel like, and I forgive me, but I don't know the SRP for that product right offhand, but I feel like you could get that for a little bit less. Brandon Y says, how's the new Basil Hayden toasted? As a matter of fact, it's sitting on my shelf right over there, but I'm in no condition to taste. So when when the throat is a little bit more healed, I promise you, I will be getting up in there and doing some tastings. That will be right there at the top of it. Hank says it is $170 is the SRP for the cigar blend, and let's see where that goes. I mean, if you want to spend that money on there, go for it. Terry says, I'm in a few new bourbon groups. What's your opinion on if group picks are worth picking up, or is it more of a novelty? You know what? I'm a big fan of the group picks. They get a little fun with the stickers from time to time, but it's those are kind of the trendy things to do, and they've been around for a while. And there's some OG groups like 1789B and the Louisville Bourbon Society. Those are always going to be groups that, when I see one of those bottles, I'm like, I'm buying it right away. So I think you find the group that you like that has good palates and you go with it. Like I know the Great Lakes. There's a couple groups out there. When I see a pick from them, I'm on it. So 1789B, the Great Lakes, Whiskey Society, they have tremendous palates. Everything I've tasted from them has been absolutely fantastic. The Arkansas Bourbon Club, little throw out to my boy Gary Penna in the house here. I know he's listening right now. They do some good stuff. But you just taste and you see what you like and see. More importantly, it's like, do you enjoy the people's company? And if they're a bunch of turds and you can't stand to be around them, then don't be in the group, even if the picks are good. That's just my thought anyway. Mark coming in here. Buffalo bourbon enthusiasts have been coming out with some great stuff. Newer group about 1 to 2 years now. Glad I found a local club doing things right. Glad to hear it. Brandon Weiss, favorite Old Forester of these? 1910, 1920, or Statesman? That's easy. I can't stand 1910. Statesman is kind of meh. You would have to peel 1920 out of my cold, dead hands. I love 1920. I love it so much. Shaw's asking the question, what are your thoughts on $289 retail of Kentucky Al Batch 4, Dixon's final rye of the series? Look, Kentucky Al is very, very proudly priced. It's very proudly priced. And I understand that they have to make money. They're a corporation and they're not a charity. But it's really expensive. Given that it is like Dixon's final batch, I would say that is one that has a little bit of kind of a sentimental value to me. Dixon is a friend. And I probably would buy it personally just because it was his last one. And I'd bring it to him and crack it open with him. I'm a big fan of Dixon. Gary Penna says, don't fall for the bourbon enthusiast scam. He agreed the site is not his site. So apparently someone has copied and pasted the bourbon enthusiast Instagram account into a Facebook page and getting people to try and be his friends and buy bourbon from him. Bottom line is, folks, do not be buying from people directly who are hitting you up on any kind of social media site. There's a lot of scamming going on right now. I'm not talking about a forum that's dedicated to the secondary. That is, use your own discretion there. I'm talking about people hitting you up, whether it's in a comment or an Instagram. I mean, it's the new, Nigerian bake scandal right now in a small little pocket of the world. So be very, very, very careful. Mark says, never buy social media. Buy off social media. So Mark's got his own belief there. So At Home Dad is here, so we can start. All right, finally. So here's how it goes. Here is how whiskey in the news goes. Like, I go into the interwebs, and you will see my face in the lower right-hand corner, and I will pull up a story in Google News, and I will comment on it. Now, membership community, this is the reason why we are doing it public versus in the members-only community, is once again because YouTube has turned off notifications to memberships, and so I had no way to communicate to you all to make sure that you had what is typically a members-only live stream. And so this is one that I love doing. So let's go ahead and get to it. Here we're going to go to Google News. Google News. All right. So there we go. So you see me there in the Google News right-hand corner. Okay, so first story at the top. Now, this is just a simple Google News bourbon search. First story at the tops. And I got this press release this morning. Broncos Breckenridge Distillery released limited edition orange and blue Broncos blend. So this is pretty common right now. What we have is we have a lot of brands who are, nope, I do not want to subscribe to notifications. We have a lot of brands who are working with larger companies, who are working with sports agencies and so forth to multiply their brand. And I just love this. There's been a big movement of bourbon getting into becoming the official pour of football arenas and so forth. The Buffalo Bills just did a deal with Screwball whiskey, which I think is a horrible brand fit because the Buffalo Bills is such a proud group, and I know a lot of people from Buffalo, and they ain't drinking Screwball whiskey. And just put it that way, they're drinking, straight Bookers. So this is a partnership between Breckenridge and Denver Broncos. So I think this is a great fit. It's going to be available in stores. It's going to be available in the stadium. And, of course, this is definitely a good look for Breckenridge. Denver Broncos and their fans are probably going to need a drink this year, so this will probably be a good fit for them as well. So this is a good one. I fully support this. Way to go, Breckenridge. Okay, so please don't fall for market price bourbon at the whiskey bar. Now, this is going to be interesting. Paste Magazine author, who's our author here? All right, Jim Varell. Jim is a really solid writer, who has been hitting the bourbon beat hard for Paste Magazine. So this is one where definitely want to take a close look at. And it looks like he's tackling people spending way too much money on bourbon in whiskey bars and marking the prices up. He's citing the Buffalo Trace Antique Collection, in particular William LaRue Weller. So he's basically giving a warning shot across the bow to people. So I think this is absolutely fantastic. Big shout out to Jim for writing this story. And this is the only way we're going to get market prices down on bourbon is getting people to be aware that they shouldn't spend the crazy money there. So I'm going to go ahead and put this one in the chat. This is a lengthy story. Let's go ahead and you all take your time to read that on your own as well. But without giving comment over what, I will say that Jim is a very thoughtful writer, and typically whatever he writes, I think is pretty good. But it's important to note that we cannot lump bars into the same conversation as liquor stores, because sometimes bars price things based on how they want you to buy. So I know a very prominent whiskey bar that's charging $250 for Pappy, just because he hopes it's he's like, if someone's gonna spend the money and not see I have a vintage $15 pour there for them, that's far more value, and all they care about is chasing Pappy. He's like, well, and this is what they're gonna get. And so you got to kind of think about the genre of bars a little bit with this. So I don't know. I'll have to read that a little bit more full, but I put that in the chat for you all to read in your own time. Okay, so 20 of the best bourbon brands to add to your bar cart. Okay. So let's see. We had a couple comments on that one there. Three Toes of Fury. Good to see you, Three Toes. Google News in 2019. I could find Stag Jr. on a shelf. Ha! That's funny. That's so funny. Okay. Bar Turtle. He's wrong, though. And Bar Turtle, of course, is an OG whiskey nerd. Welcome to the scene here, Bar Turtle. You'll see. Let's see. This is Delish. And the headline of the story, 20 of the best bourbon brands to add to your bar cart. And let's see, 15-year-old I.W. Harper. Nope. Hirsch Horizon Bourbon. No, disagree with that one. Woodford Reserve Double Oak. Yes, I agree with that one wholeheartedly. Love that one. Heaven's Door Tennessee Bourbon. Heavens, no. I would not recommend that one in a list of 20. Booker's Bourbon. Yes, absolutely. This is a must-have in pretty much every one of the pretty much everybody who's getting into bourbon. Booker's is a really good one here. Jefferson's, I think Jefferson's gets a little bit of a bad rap, but I can see this one. I'm all right with it. Law's 4 Grain, straight bourbon, bottled and bond. I dig this. I really dig this on a list of 20 to put on your bar cart. I really do, because it's different. It's out in Colorado. They've got some age to it. It's going to have a different flavor profile. So I like this as kind of like a, if this was a tournament, I like them as kind of like a wild card to have on there. Four Roses Small Batch, absolutely. Bibb and Tucker. No, I don't know what it is about Bibb and Tucker. I've never had one of these that did it for me. Like, I don't know if there's. I feel like there's every release I've ever had, and I've had people who get the same juice for their products for bottling, and it's just not the same. I don't know what it is, but it's maybe they're over filtering or something. I don't know, but it's just a hot mess for me. Angel's Envy, yeah, I see that. Long Branch. Now, this is my least favorite of the Wild Turkey line, and well, it's got Matthew McConaughey attached to it, which they always find a way to fit in that sentence. I'm going to say no to this. Fistful of Bourbon. No. This is awful stuff. It's a blend of straight bourbons. It is not good at all. This is I mean, honestly, it's borderline god awful. Blade and Bow Bourbon. I dig this stuff a lot. Blade and Bow is this tends to be a really, really good release. And Cooper's Craft, you know what? I'm not hot on it, but I'm okay with it being on this list. Hudson Whiskey, one of the co-founders of this recently died, and just in his memory, Gable Lorenzo, I'm gonna say yes, because whiskey's about camaraderie, and it's about friendships, and we lost Gable far too young. I think he was 38, 39, and this is I would put this on my cart in his honor. So I dig that. Widow Jane 10-year at $32.99. Look, I have been critical of Widow Jane in the past, but $32.99, that's a nice price for a 10-year-old. Yeah, I like that a lot. And of course, they got Lisa Wickler over there now, doing some cool stuff. Stillhouse. Oh, why is this on here? It's in a paint thinner can. Why would they do that? Ugh. Three Toes of Fury saying $32.99, not a chance. Well, I don't know. Now that I see the Maker's 46 here, Maker's 46 is a good one. Definitely want to have that on your list. Here we go. The Lucky 7 12-year-old. I've been digging their stuff a lot. They're doing good work. Knob Creek 12-year-old, absolutely. So, here we have a list that's pretty. So this list is, as list goes, like, Anybody can create a list. I've created lists and nobody ever agrees with everything. That's how lists are meant to bring discussion. So as a general grade on that list from Delish, I would say, that was a solid B, but there were like a couple of them on there that just no way should be on a list of 20. But there were some really good ones in there that I thought warranted some definitely warranted some, oh yeah, definitely staying on any list that I make. So kudos to Delish for that list. So let's go back into here. And so those were the top stories with bourbon. This music-inspired Texas bourbon utilizes local grain. I don't really want to talk about that. Old Forester birthday bourbon, there's a lot of people, talking about that. It's been all over the news lately. You can go to fredminnick.com and see that as well. Bullish on bourbon, I think that's a common one. New Kentucky Southern Social Bourbon Weekend Experience set for the Omni September 16th through 18th. Okay, I think I just read the whole story right there in the headline. A little bit more on Peyton Manning stuff. Hey, look at that. Bourbon Pursuit in the news. Woo! Whiskey versus bourbon, understanding the key differences. Yeah, this is not the time for reading that one. All right, so here we go. The 7 best bourbons in 2021. Let's see how I feel about these. Now, full transparency, I used to write for Savoir. It's been a while, but I have no axe to grind with them or anything like that. So here we go. Let's see what they have. Just scrolling on down. Looks like they gave us some definitions here. Ooh, Revival, Jimmy Red Corn Straight Bourbon. Yeah, I dig that. I haven't tasted this year's release, but I think it's pretty good. Oh, listen here. Best value, Evan Williams Bottle in a Bond. Ooh, yeah. This list is on a roll right now. On a roll. Best for cocktails, the Yellow Listen, this list is batting 100. This list is doing it right. Way to go, Savoir here. They really did their. This is the best. I would say that this is probably the best cocktail bourbon in the game. That's Four Roses, Yellow Label. Best enjoyed, neat, Willet Pot Still. Okay, so herein is what happens when non-whiskey writers, capture headlines and stuff. We see a lot of misspellings. Willet is misspelled here. There's only one T. That is a definite you were doing so well. And then, this would not have been the writer who would have done that. It'd probably been like a copy editor. Is what it is. But yeah, so you hate to see like such a good list get kind of dinged a little bit with a misspelling with something as obvious as Willet. And then best gift to impress, Pappy Van Winkle, 23-year-old. Well, I think this list just took a big giant drop. That's not a gift to impress. That's a gift that you're expecting a kidney from these people after you give it to them. The amount of effort and work you got to do to get this bottle, you best be getting a kidney, a car, or something in return, or they better be like an account of yours worth a couple million, because the hassle it's going to go through to get that bottle, woo, crazy. All right, so best everyday drinker, Buffalo Trace. Buffalo Trace. Okay, I can go with that. That's fine by me. Best innovative bottle, Wellness Trail, 6-year silver label. I'll go with that. I like that. I like that as a pick. So, all right, we'll kind of skip those things there. So that was we kind of when we look at another list here, a very solid list, a very informative in terms of details that they had in there. And I will go ahead and put that list as well in the I'll put that list in the chat. So if you would like to read that in your own time, knock yourself out. Definitely a list that you should look at. Completely dismiss the Pappy though, the Pappy recommendation. I don't believe in giving that as a gift unless the person is like so special to you that you're willing to like give them a kidney or something like that. Like, or if you give it to them, they better give you a kidney in return, because the amount of effort that you have to go through to get that bottle, whew. Now, cracking it open when they're over at your house, completely different story. But this person has to be a very special person because of the amount of effort that you have to go through for it. Just my opinion. Okay, so let's keep on looking in the news. Priced out of bourbon, go back to Scotch. That's a pretty common thought. People are getting back into Scotch because bourbon is pricing them out. So there's a story here from Gear Patrol, Blanton's, where to buy it. Who cares? UPROXX, 11 best value per dollar bourbons ranked. Here we go. All right, so this is UPROXX this is a site that's been very active in covering bourbon. Zach Johnston has been really giving it a go. So you've seen his byline in a lot of places. And they generally have done some good lists. And so this is a world that likes lists. So let's jump into this. So these are like value. What's the headline here? Hold on. The best value per dollar. The best value per dollar bourbon whiskeys ranked. Okay, here we go. At number 10, Old Tub. Yeah, that's a good one. At number 9, Jefferson's Ocean Cask Strength. I don't know if that's a value at $80. Definitely an interesting one. But I don't know about a value. I just don't know. I mean, I see its place, but definitely it's an $80. That's I don't know. At number 8, George Dickel Bottled and Bond. This is definitely a good value. I applaud that one. Number 7, Greenbrier, Nelson's Greenbrier Tennessee Whiskey. Kind of a sad note. Andy and Charles Nelson just lost their father. So, once again, I talk about whiskey being a community and, friends with everybody. It's kind of when I see that bottle, that's what I think of. You got a family and grieving, and that's, they're doing really well. They're doing really well over there, and I hope they're all doing okay. Eagle Rare 10-year-old at number 6. I'd have to say that this used to be a value. Now it's kind of going in the way of everything else from Buffalo Trace. Hard to get. Number 5, Michter's US 1 Kentucky Straight Bourbon. Absolutely. This is a great one to be on the list. Big fan of that one. Number 4, Woodinville at 37 for a value. Yes. Ding, 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 ding. I love this. This list gets a lot of points from me just for having that on here in their top 10. In fact, I'm going to drop this list in the chat. Read it in a little bit more depth in your own time. Balcones Pot Still. I like Balcones, and I like what they're doing. I don't know if I'd put them in the value category. Evan Williams Single Barrel all day long. I think this is an incredible value. And number 1, Knob Creek 12-year-old. Ding, 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 ding. Now it's $70, and I could argue that maybe that's too priced out for a value conversation, but he gives some really good points that it's got so much bang for the buck that you could easily spend more money on it. That being said, you know, Knob Creek 9-year-old is right there too. But look, folks, the fact is that Knob Creek 12-year-old is absolutely delicious, and you cannot beat that flavor profile at that one. But anyway, so that's a little bit of a look at some lists, some news, and in a big conversation about some lists. Of the list that we just saw, I'd probably say that UPROX's list was the best one. So shout out to UPROX for making a really great list there. And to me, the winners that they had on there were the Woodinville, the Evan Williams Single Barrel, the Knob Creek. Just a really bang list. And of course, with every list, you're going to have some questions, right? Every list is not going to be perfect. We make our own list. We have what we like in our head. So just use these as a guide. Use my YouTube channel and other people's writings and channels as a guide. Make your own decisions. Don't let anyone else implant their thoughts into your head. That's not good. In fact, you might need to see someone if that's happening. But hey, I got a couple more minutes if you all want to ask me some questions. Brandon Weiss asked thoughts on Proof and Wood, the Senator. Well, the Senator won best rye at the American Spirits Council of Tasters, so I'm a big fan of what they're doing there for sure. Let's see, Three Toes of Fury. I mean, I haven't seen Three Toes of Fury in a chat in a long time. Of course, it's been a while since I've had a live stream, but that was always a favorite to see in the chat. So good to see you, Three Toes. Three Toes actually says, "I'm going to make my own decision. Tell me what to buy." That's funny. But hey, as I close out, I send out a weekly newsletter where I put in news from all over whiskey, whether it's from my blog or wherever. You can go to sign up at fredminnick.com. That's fredminnick.com, and just sign up for my newsletter, and you'll get hot piping news in your email box every week. Austin Green, what's up with the Stillhouse corn whiskey? I don't know, but I know I have some Stillhouse around the office, and I know I need to break into them to taste, but I haven't tasted it yet. Terry asked, dumb question. There are no dumb questions, Terry. Where do I find the link for the group? Is it under join? That would be, well, if you're already a member, it would just be the community tab. So you click community. If you are not a member, click join and then whatever level of membership. But I've been having some issues with the YouTube membership group, the whole membership thingy. So we'll see kind of where it goes. I might change things up a little bit. I've been approached by a few different people about bringing my exclusive content over to them, and this was always meant to be a members only stream. So it could have been a blessing in disguise. Who knows? Whiskey Tornado. Curious if you've had the Knob Creek 12-year 124. It blew me away, more so than the 120 proof. I have, and yeah, it's absolutely fantastic. And in fact, people ask me all the time, what's the store pick you're always hunting? It's Knob Creek. I'm always hunting the Knob Creek. In fact, I just had a Liquor Barn Knob Creek store pick. Just money. Absolutely money. Mark Zyla, thoughts on Traverse City Barrel Proof. Been one of my favorites. Yeah, they're doing all right there in Michigan. They're getting some good barrels there to bottle. So, yeah, I think, you're in the right path there if you're liking their stuff. Corey Z, any thoughts on whether 1792 will bring back its port finish? Was the best of the lineup. I agree, and I don't know. Gary Penna just killed your Woodinville pick. Attaboy. Hopefully, you're not flying right now, Gary. Hayden Kirkwood, any idea of the available Russell's Reserve 13-year-old is likely to become? Funny story. I still haven't tasted. I did taste it because Gary, whom I just mentioned, brought me a sample at my Tulsa event, but I still don't have a bottle. It's very good though. Mark is all about Dickel 15-year-old. I'm with you that. At home, any more single barrel picks coming? Yes. We've got, I've got a Kilhoman, a Scotch coming. And then I got a not a Jack Rose, a Jack Daniels barrel pick. But I'm getting someone to help me organize that a little bit more, so I'll be a little bit more proactive on things. And I've got a Nashville barrel one coming too. So, Speyside 12, worst value in whiskey. Worst value in whiskey. I mentioned this earlier, but I'd probably have to say Kentucky Owl. Kentucky Owl's got some $1,000, $1,500 bottles, and it's gotten worse since Dixon left, but they're just priced so high, and you don't see them selling. This question came up another time, and someone said Whistle Pig. I was like, no. Whistle Pig is appropriately priced to counter what was then the secondary market where their stuff was selling. And I've never seen, the Kentucky Owl stuff, except for their original batches, sell for what they're offering now at SRP. Some of it's ridiculous. Hayden, thoughts on Jack Daniel's 10-year? Sign me up and bring it to me. I can't wait to taste that one. I love Jack Daniel's. I think Jack Daniel's has an incredible flavor profile. I am so excited about tasting the 10-year. I am so stoked about that. And if it sucks, I'm going to be very disappointed. A couple questions in here about Chattanooga. Now, I have recent reviews about Chattanooga. They're just crushing it. I'm a big fan of them. They have, they're very thoughtful with the releases and how they're doing stuff. So, huge fan for that. All right. Let's see. No, it's not. Nope, it's not that. Kilhoman's what I picked. But I'm not going to be picking many Scotch barrels. This was just kind of popped up, and I said yes. But the whole process of picking barrels in Scotland, it's a lot more thorough, only because of customs and things like that. And I like keeping things simple. So if somebody wants to come in and do all that for me, I would welcome it. All right. Well, hey, you know what? I really, really appreciate you tuning in. And Brandon asked the question: Blue Note 17 versus Blue Run 14-year-old. Which you going with? I think I might have to do a taste off. Might have to do a taste off to figure out which one I like better. But I think it'll probably be Blue Note. But I just want to say thanks everyone for tuning in. It's been absolutely fun, and once again to the membership community. Thank you for your patience. I had no idea that you hadn't been seeing my posts until today. So you've had 2 weeks of posts from me that you did not see because you haven't been getting notified. And if you'd like to become a member and not get notified, be sure to hit that join button and choose whatever level of membership you'd like. Now, as I close out, I just want to say thank you to all those who have served. A big thanks to our first line responders, everybody in the healthcare community. Please be safe out there, folks. Please be safe out there and take care of one another. And don't let these days go by without having a dram with someone who's a friend or you care about. And very important, remember, vodka sucks unless it's being used for hand sanitizer. Cheers, everybody.